Vamos a recibir ahora a uno de los principales analistas en Estados Unidos, Ross Gerber, presidente and CEO de Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Nice to meet you, Ross. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
What do you think about the market situation?
Well, the markets in the United States are actually doing quite well over the last couple years, and the correction we've seen over the last couple days are just because the economy is starting to really pick up in the United States and rates have moved higher. So we're going through this adjustment process as rates move higher, and as well, ultimately the economy improves. But it's actually a great backdrop for stocks, so we're buyers on all the pullbacks that we're seeing.
Is it time to focus our portfolio to tech companies, or is it too late to invest in these type of companies?
Well, it's never too late to invest in technology. My firm specializes in investing in technology because it's one of the best things we do here in America is technology. And what we're seeing in America is still tremendous levels of innovation from tech companies in every sector of technology, from hardware and software to video game industry. Like we see Roblox going public today, a very successful American company as well. So we think technology is the best place to invest at any point in time. You just have to watch out for valuations.
How do you see Tesla now? The share and the evolution of this share in the Nasdaq?
Well, Tesla's probably one of the best companies in the world when you look at their growth rate, the industry that they're in, the EV industry, the demand for climate change solutions, whether it be in energy or transportation, which Tesla is in both sectors. And as they continue to build out their international expansion with their Berlin factory and then ultimately their Austin factory, Tesla is going to become one of the most, it already is one of the biggest companies in the world, but probably one of the most influential and important companies for our society as it continues to push not only Tesla forward, but many other companies forward in creating solutions for climate. So we're extremely bullish on Tesla over the long term, and it's also an expensive company, so there is still risk. So like with most technology stocks, you have to be very careful what you pay for them, even if they have wonderful futures ahead of them.
We're seeing in Europe how inflation is very important now. European Central Bank is in a meeting looking for different options about monetary policy about this item. Is it a danger to the economy? Is it a problematic thing to the economy in this 2021?
So Europe has different factors than the United States when it comes to inflation. So I think the last thing Europeans need to worry about is inflation, considering you have negative rates still a major factor in the EU, and you still have a very, very slow economy and structural issues with your structure in the EU that create, I would say, inefficiencies in your economy that exacerbate unemployment. So inflation's not an issue in Europe, in my mind. In the United States, I think it's something to be concerned about, but because we have these technological innovations continuing to force prices down, even though we've seen prices go up in other areas like commodities, we think that ultimately a little bit of inflation isn't bad. And that's what we expect, a little bit of inflation. And I think that's where the markets are adjusting to right now. But considering our high unemployment rate still, it seems like it'll be a little bit of time before we have to worry about real inflation.
Could be inflation a good news for debt, for global debt?
Yes and no. It's a good news in some ways. It's bad news if you have to borrow more money because you have to pay more to borrow. So if you're a homeowner, for example, in the United States, people were just recently buying homes with 2.5% mortgages, which was like the lowest I've ever seen. And those now have moved up to 3%. So it's better for financial stocks and banks to have rates go higher. And it's more costly for consumers to borrow when rates go higher. So there's winners and losers there. But ultimately, it's important that we have high enough rates to restrain speculative behavior. And that's what we're most concerned about is speculative behavior, which has become pretty rampant, whether you see it in Bitcoin or real estate or other areas of the markets.
Only one question more. What do you think about investors that they are focusing in small and middle cap companies?
Well, I think small caps are doing pretty well right now, and there's some benefit to that. But I also think the pandemic has given more advantage to large companies than small companies. And we've seen that across America, where large companies have profited greatly during the pandemic, while small businesses have been wiped out. So I think there's still lots of challenges with small businesses, but I think from a valuation level, when you're talking about the stock market, there's more value in smaller companies than in larger companies, I think, today. And we're seeing that side of the market improve. And we're going to see smaller businesses start to come back a little bit now that the pandemic is subsiding here in America.
Thanks a lot, Ross Gerber, President and CEO of Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Good day and good business.
Yeah, thank you.
A este tiempo, para hablar con Ross Gerber, hemos analizado junto con Iván Martín de Magallanes y también con Ross Gerber cómo se está comportando la economía, cuál es la fotografía. Ya han visto, inflación, pequeñas y medianas compañías, a ver qué hace hoy el Banco Central Europeo, claves de esta jornada. Un momentito de publicidad y enseguida volvemos.